John Beaudin, Rock History Canada. Didn't get a chance to post this yesterday. It's already not an old story, but sort of a sad story. Let me grab my mic here. That one of my iconic Canadian artists, if not my number one artist, Myles Goodwyn has decided to, of April Wine, has decided to bow out and not tour anymore. Now, he's given us warnings through the years that April Wine would probably go on without him. Now, consider this. Myles Goodwyn was the only original member of April Wine still in the band. He was there with the Henman family right in the beginning with the first album that was released in 1971. By On Record, things were starting to loosen up a little bit. You know, You Could Have Been a Lady, the Hot Chocolate song was on there. They had a North American hit. Electric Jewels was sort of a Lennon and McCartney sort of album for Jim Clench and Myles Goodwyn sharing the duties together. And then by Stand Back 75, which was a very sweet album. Let me just grab my notes here so I can see the comments. Sorry about this, guys. Melody R, I knew it was you. Hey, Tim P, good evening, John. But April Wine, like by the time Stand Back came out, I think like 5-6 singles on Stand Back. I Wouldn't Want to Lose Your Love was on there. It was a sweet album. But then they decided to toughen it up a little bit with The Whole World's Going Crazy. This was 1976. And by that time, I was like hook, line, and sinker into this band. But let's see the announcement. Let me just put it up here so you guys can see it before we talk about the history of the band. This was from Myles Goodwyn yesterday. New April Wine group to hit stages everywhere in 2023. Left to right, Brian Greenway, Mark Perrant, Richard Lothier, and Roy Nickel. Although I'm still in the band writing, recording, the guys and producing, I'm now officially retired from touring. My last stage performance after 50 plus years on the road will be in Nova Scotia, March 2nd, 2023. It all started here and it ends here for me. I will miss shows and fans and other bands and have been friends for years, but health reasons have made this decision necessary. Cheers, everyone, and thanks for all the support over the years. Please share. There you go. The classic lineup, of course, of April Wine. There they go. I mean, that's the lineup that we had from first glance on, which was 78. Myles Goodwyn on the left, Steve Lang, who passed away a few years ago. He plays bass. Gary Moffat. Brian Greenway will still be in the band. So he's been in since 1978. And then Jerry Mercer's not long gone. He's still around, but he's no longer the big man behind on drums. He was always one of my favorite drummers. And as a lot of you know, when I built my wall right there next to Chicago, that's the first emblem I made in my wall at home. April Wine was the very first one because they were really my favorite Canadian band, and I've always loved them. But it's kind of sad news. Most people have been supportive. Matt Rousey, hey John, wow, Myles is hanging up the mic, man. All my musical heroes from home as well are touring as a tech. As a tech are retiring. Oh, is that right? Oh, cool. Not cool. Cool. I hear what you're saying. Myles, when I heard You Could Have Been a Lady when I was 12 years old, I mean, I was done. You know, I thought Myles Goodwyn wrote the song, but, you know, it was a Hot Chocolate song, which sounded very different if you look it up by Hot Chocolate. But going back to, like, the history, and it meant so much to me, because by 1976, when The Whole World's Going Crazy, Like a Lover, Like a Song was on there, the ballad, which I love so much, man, like, I went crazy with The Whole World's Going Crazy. The title song was a little hokey, almost Tim P. Mercer was an incredible drummer and underrated in my opinion. I interviewed April Wine in, I don't have my phone here. I interviewed 2000, because Myles Goodwyn had a tendency to write the year where he signed. So he signed every one of the April Wine albums that I had, and I had every album. And we gave away some at a contest. And as of now, I've got April Wine's On Record, Electric Jewel, Stand Back, The Whole World's Going Crazy, Forever for Now, First Glance, Harder, Faster, and Nature of the Beast autographed. The other ones, we gave them away, or people won them in contests. The most underrated singer-songwriter rocker in this country, to me, has always been Myles Goodwyn. He doesn't suffer fools. He was hard on me even when I interviewed him, because back then, after reading his book, I kind of figured out that he was drinking then. And he just, in the middle of the interview, said, I don't feel like doing this, but you seem to know a lot about the band, so let's get going. And he gave me a good interview for the most part. And Jerry Mercer was there, the late, great Jim Clench, who left after Stand Back, and came back for, what is it, Attitude, Frigate, Back to the Mansion, roughly speaking. It was kind of nice to have the band back together in that stage. So I interviewed Brian Greenway, Myles Goodwyn, Jerry Mercer, and Jim Clench in 2000, and that's the last time I talked to them. It's a real sad thing, because for me personally, they were always so damn important in my life. And I just simply adored Myles's voice. He had a lighter voice. Never thought he could be a rocker. Fooled me. Man, that guy could phrase, could rock. Remember Hard Times? Sort of a novelty song, sort of a Western song. What's that song? I got to look it up from first glance. Hold on. I think it's the first song on the album. Yeah, Hot on the Wheels of Love. Man, what a great song that was. Get Ready for Love. Rock and Roll is a Vicious Game. Another one of those songs about the hardships, the pitfalls of being involved in rock and roll. Roller was a hit in the U.S. for them. Just simply loved their stuff. Everything that they did, I enjoyed. Then after that, they followed it up with what showed us, which was the shape of things to come when it came to April Wine. The one before The Nature of the Beast was Harder, Faster. And you could see that was the son of Nature of the Beast. I Like to Rock. Say Hello. Jerry Mercer played the drum on Say Hello on an office desk for me, or a conference room desk. I said, how did you do that? And he showed me, and he played it for me. I went, that's so great. Tonight, Ladies Man, which is, again, that kind of sound that we had on Nature of the Beast, even though it was on Harder, Faster. Brian Greenway's Before the Dawn, Babes in Arms, the harmonizing on there was amazing. And 24th Century Schizoid Man, which, of course, Robert Fripp wrote for a certain prog band. And then Nature of the Beast came out, and Tim P., I think every young Canadian kid back then had more than one album at home. Oh, I had everything. I had every single April Wine album, and to this day I still do. So when Nature of the Beast came out, I was 21 years old, and I loved the album cover. I loved everything about Nature of the Beast. This was like the perfect April Wine album. Like people say, talk about Toto 1 and 4, about their perfect albums. This was it. And they were never able to repeat that, but who cares? They created the Nature of the Beast with not one bad song on it. The singles, Sign of the Gypsy Queen, the Lawrence Hudd song, and Just Between You and Me, which was a hit in the U.S., but All Over Town, Telling Me Lies, just real rockers. Wanna Rock, that was good. Caught in the Crossfire, Future Tense, great song. But Crash and Burn, to me, was one of the underrated songs on this album. It's such a great tune. Bad Boys, One More Time, Before We Go, one more song on the radio. And after, I was just talking to Tom Lavin and about them covering, April Wine covering Doing It Right. And he said in the U.S., he was just talking to Myles Goodwyn about it, I guess, a few days before I talked to him. And the U.S. company that owns the rights to that album now, or whatever, the publishing, has never paid Tom Lavin 1 cent. Not April Wine's fault, but there you go. Sad moment. I totally agree about Myles being a supreme vocalist and writer in Canada. This is from Matt. I'm from Dartmouth, and I wish Myles great retirement. Yeah, thank you for circling back with that. Myles deserves it for medical reasons, none of our freaking business, whatever it is. And the comments have been mostly nice. I mean, come on, he's done his time. Would I go see April Wine again? April Wine is the exception where I would go see April Wine go see them without Myles. I'd miss him. I've seen April Wine, I think 8 times. And I've seen April Wine more than any other band. So I was at I think the first one was the Stand Back. Yeah, Stand Back tour. I was there. And remember, the whole world's going crazy? You guys are going to laugh at me. Hope he doesn't break. I built this little guy. Hold on. You can't see his color because he's green here. I built this guy out of clay. And he's falling apart. And that's his foot right here. It's the cover of The Whole World's Going Crazy. But he really is green. And I have to fix him. But yeah, the Mad Hatter made out of clay from The Whole World's Going Crazy. That's how much of an April Wine fan I am. I mean, I love this band. When I saw them in concert for Stand Back, I almost cried. I was near the front. It was general seating. It was Miramichi, Newcastle, New Brunswick. And it was like the greatest moment of my life. I just couldn't believe it. I was just talking to Lisa Hart, who was on, I do believe, The Whole World's Going Crazy tour with April Wine. I'm pretty sure. Remember the Lisa Hart band? So I just talked to her a couple of weeks ago. And she said the memory she has of Myles Goodwyn is Myles says, "Why can't you wear pants?" Myles didn't like her wearing pants, wearing a dress. She says, "Well, I'm kind of a lady and I wear dresses, right?" But she enjoyed that tour with the guys, and they toured across the country. But it's a sad moment. So many hits. So let's go through just for a second. Tim P, The Bell, You Know What a Night Always Got Me. Yeah, the Jim Clench song. Reminded me of the cowbell in Mississippi Queen. Yeah, and I called it a cowbell on the top 25 April Wine songs. Ooh, not a cowbell. It's a bell. Hold on, let's go into the discography here. It's a testament to writing great songs. And let's not forget, Jim Clench was there. The Henman Brothers were there in the beginning. Brian Greenway's been a great addition, and he's the rock now in April Wine. I hope Brian ends up singing more songs. Fast Train was their first hit in 1971. Jim Henman told me something about Fast Train. He was only on one album. He was the bass player. He said, we were talking about Zeppelin, and then we went to April Wine's first album, and he said, "Oh, well, Zeppelin's first album, that's the band right there. I mean, they got a little less jazzy or bluesy, but that was it. They hit the ground running." And Jim Henman said the first April Wine album wasn't really a fully formed band yet, right? But they released an album. They had some airplay with Fast Train, which was technically a hit because it reached number 38 on the charts. You Could Have Been a Lady was a number 2 hit in this country, in Canada. Number 34 in the U.S., so they did have officially their first hit. Bad Side of the Moon, the Elton John song, reached 16. Drop Your Guns, what a great rocker, number 34. Lady Run, Letty Hide, peaked at 19. Weeping Widow just made it at 40 to make it officially a hit. Electric Jewels, the title song, was not a hit single. It reached 84. I'm on Fire For You, Baby. Remember, it was on the live album. And that was a great live album. I have that one autographed too. That was such a great live album. Live at the Elmo Combo, which came a few years later, was a very different sounding live album, totally refreshing. So I Wouldn't Want to Lose Your Love was the first hit from Stand Back. Remember the Canon? Tonight Is a Wonderful Time to Fall in Love was the biggest hit from Stand Back. Come Hear the Band, number 29. Ooh, What a Night, number 11. When we did our countdown of top April Wine songs, I'm almost positive Ooh, What a Night came out number 1. We had thousands of votes. So by the time The Whole World's Going Crazy came out, it was 1976. That song, which almost was a novelty song, was number 5. Gimme Love, which was the first song on the album, number 33. Like a Lover, Like a Song, number 49. I can't understand how that wasn't a hit. It got a lot of airplay. Forever For Now was supposed to be a Myles Goodwyn a solo album, but ended up not being that. but it had one hit, You Won't Dance With Me. The title song did not peak in the top 40. Rock and Roll is a Vicious Game from First Glance. Like I said, a song about the perils of being a rocker. Come Right Down to It with number 46. Roller was a hit from First Glance. And then we're getting into Harder, Faster, Say Hello, I Like to Rock. And then Just Between You and Me, Sign of the Gypsy Queen, Enough is Enough is Tell Me Why. Those are Harder, Faster, The Nature of the Beast, and Power Play. I usually do a background for bands that I really like. And I certainly did one for April Wine. I had the t-shirts. You know, I bugged their tour manager. I don't know what his name is. I've got it. It's still in my message book. I bugged him and I said, I'm making an April Wine special. I need to talk to the band. Well, they're really tired. They had a long tour or something was going on. And I said, guys, give me half an hour each guy. When they come into when Myles Goodwyn's finished, bring in Brian Greenway. And we each took a picture with them. So it worked out. It worked out. Yeah, they used a gong bell like this one on the hallways for, yeah. Hold on, I'll show you a picture. It's on here someplace. Me and April Wine. I couldn't take a picture with the whole band because the whole band wasn't around me. And I always have this thing where I'd rather interview people. Here's what it looks like. That's the Mad Hatter I built. That's down here. I just showed you. There you go. Hold on. This picture should come up. Here we go. There I am with April Wine. Oops, sorry about the light. There you go. Jim Clench, Brian Greenway, Jerry Mercer, and Myles Goodwyn. It was a good interview. I can't find the Myles Goodwyn interview. It's here someplace. I wouldn't have thrown it out, but I can't, for whatever reason, I can't find it. West Creek, I know Myles very well. There you go. Darren says, good evening, John. Hello. Gen Xers here. Very formative music of my youth. Charlie's Girl. Nice to have you on here. West Creek, Rise of the Gypsy Queen. What else? Nice, John. Oh, it's Sign of the Gypsy Queen, by the way. But it's bittersweet. If Myles talks, when someone says, for health reasons, you just back away and you go, hey, thanks for giving us what you gave us. It's a good time tonight to think about gratitude when it comes to Myles and everything he's given us. Again, I won't sugarcoat it. Myles does not suffer fools. You know, he's one of those guys, but I respect him for that. I was a little taken aback when he was a little hard on me because he says, I don't feel like doing this. But there's a part of me, I kind of respected him. He said, well, but let's get on with it. Scared me a little bit. I hadn't been in radio 40 years at that point. Jerry Mercer mostly talked about spirituality, God, almost dying. Jim Clench talked about golfing with Anne Murray and how good Anne Murray was and being in BTO. Brian Greenway was just the nicest human being you'll ever meet in your life. And Myles was very informative about the old days of April Wine. I had a fact wrong. He corrected me, and he was right. I looked it up later. But, yeah. Charlie's Girl says, I couldn't pick a favorite song from them. Oh, so many greats. There are. You know, I always thought, I was always in the audience watching the Juno Awards. And there was always another band that would win over April Wine. And I was always getting pissed off. And it's true, the other band was probably bigger. What was their toughest interview you ever did? Oh, I think I mentioned it a few times. 3 Deep with Joshua Morrow of Young and the Restless, Eddie Cibrian, who's married to Leanne Rimes, and a Canadian gentleman. They formed a singing duo, believe it or not, called 3 Deep. Look them up. It's just the number 3 Deep, and you'll see them. And they were just screwing around. Not the Canadian guy, JD, or I forget his name. It's funny, I don't remember the name of the nice guy. But Joshua Morrow and Eddie Cibrian kept joking around nonstop. And my son was there. He wanted to meet them. And, by then I knew how to handle myself in interviews. And I kept going, hey, guys, you know what? I don't have to do this. It's okay. Our station's presenting this concert. But if you don't want to eat, if you don't feel like talking, if you're tired, oh, no, we'll be good. And they kept fooling around. Worst interview I ever did. I haven't had a lot of tough interviews. So 40 years, not too many tough interviews. There you go. So Myles, we feel gratitude. That's a huge body of work when you look at a band that is still going. Going from their first single in 1971, which was a hit, which was Fast Train, to their last single, which was If I Was a Stranger, which came out in 1994. Will April Wine still record? I mean, I think there's a possibility. Myles just said that because it's just, I don't know, it's a link. Will he still, I mean, April Wine hasn't recorded an album since 1994. So will they record some new stuff? I think he's basically the musical director of the band, right? Darren says, John, I stumbled upon this live streaming on here by accident. I was looking for some possible Tom Lavin interview clips. I haven't even tackled Tom yet. Tom Lavin's interview was very long. Just to give you a glimpse, again, before I show you this, there's the Mad Hatter, that I built. That's his foot up there. This is not purple, it's green, but the David Paich interview, this is David Paich. This, and this. There's 26 clips in the David Paich interview, because we noticed some people didn't listen to all the clips of the first interview, so we're going to put it up tomorrow, or I might be able to put one up tonight. Lots. So we have so many interviews we've got to get to. Back to the Mansion. Oh, yeah. You're right. They don't have it on here. Thank you. Yeah, I have it up there. I have all the April Wine albums except, of all things, I don't have the CD of Nature of the Beast. And Live at the Elmo Combo. I don't have that one. Or the 74 live album. Don't they have one called, Roughly Speaking? It's called, why is it on here? Yeah. That's interesting. Let me see. Let me go back. Let me go back and see. Yeah, Roughly Speaking. Here we go. Back. So the comeback albums were Attitude, 93, 94, A Frigate, 2001, Back to the Mansion, Roughly Speaking. Yeah. And they were good. That's the thing. I was so surprised at how good they were. Because bands stay out of the limelight for a long time and all of a sudden they come back and you go, yeah, it's kind of like a watered down version. But they were really good. The music industry had changed. Darren says Fast Train sounds like a combination of the Guess Who song, Share the Land, and Let It Ride. I just thought it was very light, Fast Train. I wasn't a big fan of the first album. And like Richie had told me, Henman, he said it wasn't a fully realized idea for a band yet. So there you go. I'm going to check to see. It's late here. It's 11 o'clock. Hold on. Yeah. But thanks for everyone for coming on. I am going to put a link to the top April Wine albums and the top 25 April Wine songs in this. Be sure to check it out because, man, it took like a month to do each one. Back then, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I wanted to do that. And like the video, I appreciate that if you would. And Myles, not sure where you're living now, but you deserve it. Take it easy. I think I'll put on my best. Which one's that, Tim P? I love the 74 live album. I thought it was so great. And Live at the Elmo Combo is really good. It sounds different, though. There's a slightly different feel to it. Sounds like they're in a bar, because they are at the Elmo Combo, right? But I love it. They haven't released an album that I didn't like. And I can't say that for most bands. But anyway, thanks, guys. I'm gonna grab a cold one. I hope you're doing okay. We're just a few days away from Christmas. The first David Page will have him talking about, by the way, of Toto, what he's doing this Christmas and family traditions. It's an interesting thing he wants this year for Christmas. But Matt says Myles lives in Porters Lake, Nova Scotia. Cool. Thanks for coming on. Dave Spargo, glad to say I was blessed to see these guys live in the 80s. Yeah, 7-8 times I've seen them. So they were always good. They were always fantastic. Take care, guys. John Beaudin, Rock History Music. Like the video, share the video. And remember, in about 10 minutes, I'm going to put the link at the very top of the description to the top April Wine albums of all time. Based on votes, we had thousands of votes. And the top April Wine songs, top 25 April Wine songs of all time. And we did a big production of it. It's like we really went nuts with it. So take care of yourself. I can't find the go off the line button. Take care of John Beaudin, Rock History Canada.